What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 10 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Mannfred von Carstein Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have begun the war against the rats, attacking Clan Moors and defeating them in both a field and siege battle alike, taking their capital of Misty Mountain and overwhelming their defenders with zombie and with fell battle alike as well. It was pretty fun, and it will probably continue for a fair bit as well. There's always more rats where that came from, as many a faction in this world I'm sure knows, at least the ones that are, believe that they exist. Anyway, in terms of what we gotta do this time, there's actually several things, and in fact, rather than describing it, I'm just going to do it. First thing is first. The last time we saw that the Caravan of Blue Roses, Helman Gorst, was very, very close to Confederation at minus 0.9. He might just not be that close anymore, so what we're going to do is what I've done in various other campaigns. Rather than threaten him and tank our reliability, which would probably hurt our Confederation chances with other factions, we're going to force a military alliance with him, or going to go for a military alliance with the Caravan of Blue Roses instead, like so. And then, just as we did in the Skulltaker campaign, and frankly I've done this once again in a bunch of campaigns, so I'm not going to list them, we're going to force the Caravan of Blue Roses into a random war. We were going to attack the Bloody Hands anyway, because we can't leave them on our southern borders, so we'll declare war against them, call allies to help, and the Caravan of Blue Roses will not refuse, because in the first 10 turns, like the player can't refuse, well, like the player would have that treachery thing, it seems like the AI is programmed not to refuse military action, so that forces him into a war, makes him weaker, and thereby gives us access to Confederation, allowing us to get Gorsty on the field and powering up all of our zombies, or at least I hope powering up all of our zombies. Let's see what the AI did to him. Okay, they have Undying Horde rather than Children of the Night. No, that's not horrible. Let's face it, the zombies are cheap anyway, so the upkeep reduction probably wouldn't matter much. They do have the 10%, or the 10% for zombies, so that's good. Unholy Fury, not maxed out, and you know what? This isn't actually bad. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. It's fine. We'll leave it. I'm not going to reset him. We'll keep him on field and doing stuff. Can we give him any items? Guess we can give him this Trickster Shard. We don't have a lot of spare items. Fencer's Blades is the only option we have, and Shield of Talos, I guess? That's pretty much it. Alright, well, if that's pretty much it, that's pretty much it. Just give him what we've got, and then hopefully we'll get other items as well. We also got a White King with Crypt Rider, which isn't too useful to us, unfortunately, but stick around, and Saved von Drak. Well, we're probably going to declare war on Kugath preemptively, so here's what we'll do. You are going to go into Necromantic Ritual. Ooh. Ogres. Ooh, wait. Yes, they are willing to trade. And by confederating, we have gotten sight of the ogres, which is great. They'll give us money, non-aggression, military access, and trade, which is more income per turn. 485 income per turn, which ain't too bad either. In fact, while we're taking a look at diplomacy... no. The Knights of Calador, I'd actually love to trade with them, because... well, then again, put Imric and Mannfred in a room, and I'm not sure what would happen, but, Portalo Errant's nearly ready to peace out, which is fine, because we want to declare war on them, although I have another thought as to what we could do about this continent in general, so we'll get to that in a second. What I was going to say is that the Graves of the Dragons in the Plane of Bones here is one of our victory conditions, which means we can't be friendly with Imric, or unless he loses that territory and we take it for ourselves anyway, but we'll see. For now, it's not something we can do. Anyway, Saved von Drak, I would like you to move up here, and I'd like to do two things to you. The first will be to give you a raised dead guy, a corpse thief, no, a grave digger. Assuming that we can... Yes, we can raise dead. Good. Then... We don't have a lot of money, so we're going to have to maximize whatever money we can. Temporarily take the Kitab al-Azif from our friend here, and let's raise a few things. Maybe a couple of Graveguard, another Black Knight with Lances and Barding, just because we already have one in here. Let's say another Vargulf, a Crypt Horror, an Unholy Lodestone. Maybe a couple more Graveguard. It's got a couple of Great Weapon Graveguard to dish out damage, I guess. Yeah, why not? And then fill the rest of the army up with zombies. Like so. Alright, that seems good enough for me. No, -1 zombie, because we could pop a Reginald Lichberg in here, at least temporarily, and make use of that army. Obviously, Gorsty is going to be a little bit more zombie-heavy, but for now we just gotta make use of what we got. Anyway, 2 other things I want to do. Bit of a big turn. I guess Kadon can have back his Kitab al-Aziz, because he still needs to raise more stuff. Where was it? What's up here? Saved, who we're probably not going to keep, although I didn't take a look at his trait. It's unlikely that we got the one trait that is good. Whispering Tome was actually fine, but I wanted the zombie buff trait that Kadon has. Where was it here? This one, that gives the zombies 35 weapon strength, making them a lot better at what they do. Domineering, plus 75% weapon strength for zombies, so yeah. Anyway, now let's actually begin. Manny, you will want to move towards Suntree Glades, and I guess we'll have to march stance towards it. Because we're now at war with these guys, and you know what, I guess both of you are going to march stance forward. Yeah, do it. Both of you go forward, and we will try to get Manny towards Wurzag. As I recall, Wurzag gives you a physical resistance defeat trait, and that should be useful for Manny, who's always, you know, sort of flying around by himself, getting hurt by things. You two are kind of in an interesting position. So you're going to go here, and -31. Oh, it's going to rebel anyway. Damn plagues. The only thing you two can do is head into ambush stance, because you're out of range of these guys, so we could just hope to try to ambush them. Oh, damn, and we can't auto-resolve with Bathilda until the plague goes away, either. Well, what can you do? Leadership -10 for army? Ooh, that's going to be iffy, but anyway. Alright, let's keep everybody moving. Wilhelm, you're good now. Gustav is good. Frederick is good. The Red Duke, you are waiting for the army out of Recruiter, though I'd like to build some... the other Recruiter, yes. You are supposed to head to the Living Army, so go out this way. Or the Living Army that we're currently in the process of constructing, so we'll see. And I believe you're the only one who also needed to move, yeah. What I was saying was we really need to build a couple of seagoing armies, because there is a lot of islands, especially, look at the islands around the Galleon's Graveyard here. It's like... Island, 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 island. They're all kind of... And I'm willing to bet there's more islands in the fog here, because they all seem to be roughly equidistant from each other. And they're, I guess, spawning in a little hex grid and just filling up the spaces, because it seems like Noctilus is not moving and doing anything. But speaking of Noctilus not moving and doing anything, or these guys in general, here's what we're going to do. King Diocht, or Jocht, we are going to borrow this army. Most campaigns, I don't like to borrow armies, mostly because there isn't really too much reason to do it. But in this campaign, I figure we do. We'll take this army and, okay, I guess... Well, we can't borrow Luther Harkins, so this is the only army we can borrow. And we'll take this army as well. Like so. And what we'll do is, together with both of them... Can you channel? Go start channeling. Huh. I guess you can't use channeling stance. Oh, it's because you're not a... Yeah, alright, fine. Just start moving this way. Ah, Winds of Magic Tempestuous. At least you can stand here and gain a little bit of mana, even if you can't channel. You know, I'm going to leave you in channeling just in case it's not showing us, but is secretly actually doing it. Anyway, we can actually try to maybe make use of some of these armies. Granted, it costs all of our allegiance, but allies are generally pretty darn useless, which is why I don't generally bother taking armies. But what we can try to do is, A, have them attack this army. I don't know whether we can manage to win it, but if we can, great, and get a book via it. And then otherwise, have them move to attack the Bordelot Errant. This way we don't have to build an army and then spend like 10 turns traveling all the way over just to kill a few guys off here, and then give their territory to the Awakened to start working on this continent, hopefully, without us having to do it all ourselves. It would be nice to have useful allies to some degree, and we'll see if we can. Granted, no ally will probably ever be as useful as Draika was in the Vlad campaign that I did way back when, but yeah, or Vlad and Isabella campaign, I should say. Anyway, I believe we're good to end the turn unless I'm mistaken. Probably. Just double checking that I didn't forget anything with the Confederation. I don't think so. Or if I did, it's too late now because we're gonna skip. We're gonna imminent rebellion at. Alright, we saw that earlier. Building upgrade available. No money to spend on it anyway. And ooh, our money dropped down as well. But because we confederated, so that does make sense. Well, go. Let's see if any of the ambushes pay off and we can do anything with it. Alright, there's the rebellion. Alright, come on, Scaen, attempt to attack Dringo Carazzo Cricket Fang Fort Clan Rictus. Not the Scaen I was talking about. Ended our non-aggression pact. Okay, well, what can you do? Also, while the turn is ending, yes, we did reach the engagement threshold, so this will obviously be an hour-long-ish episode, and the engagement threshold stands 60 likes and, wait, 60 comments and 400 likes, or vice versa, and the next episode will be an hour-ish long as well. Plus, we maintained the streak up to this episode, so we'll have a bonus episode later today as well. Appreciate it, guys, and hope you enjoy. Ambush foiled. The ambush got foiled, but you went close to us anyway? Curious. Okay. Die. Please don't cross the river. Don't cross the river. Okay. Oh, a little bit of panic. Ready for duty, ready for duty. Great. Building allegiance. Great. Black cat, sure. Alright, attack this. Could be a free kill. You can actually... Really? It's just Skaven slaves, game. It's just Skaven slaves. What could... I mean, I guess they do have some rattling guns. Go figure. Alright, I'm gonna just manually fight this really, really quickly because this is kind of a waste of time. And just the auto-resolve being kind of nutty as it occasionally tends... Oh, that's why it's a choke point battle, so we can't go around them. Ah, go figure. You know what, that might make it worth... Well, if it's a choke point battle, there's nothing tactically interesting. Maybe I'll make it cinematic. Just for fun. Alright, here we go. An unexpected little cinematic, but, well, the more the merrier, I suppose. I do enjoy these things after all, so, yeah. Plus, it's a choke point battle, and choke point battle, as I said, means no real tactics other than Unga Bunga rush the choke, and, well, that's what we're going to do. I suppose we could, well, we could annoy them with Winds of Death through the enemy lines until they got sufficiently annoyed to move out of the choke, and then hit them, which would give us the advantage, because obviously surrounding piles of clan rats and Skaven slaves with ghouls would give us the easy victory, but forcing our way through the choke might be a little bit more fun by virtue of having to work for it a little more and not playing to the advantage of the highly mobile stalking ghoul army. So away we go in a few seconds. Skies are corrupted by Skaven, so they're all greenish looking, but the lighting's not so bad. Sometimes the Skaven corrupted maps get really dark and it's not quite visible, but all good. Anyway, we're going to send Wilhelm of the Grim Banquet forward towards the Teethbreakers rattling guns. Those things are very scary, and we don't want them firing upon our crypt horrors over the heads of the other rats. The enemy will, however, not be deterred, and will start spamming those warp lightnings in our masses of ghouls, which will probably mean significant damage and will cause us to immediately activate our first invocation of Nehek to get those numbers back up and running. Alrighty, and the Crypt Horrors are in perhaps the unit of Eshin Triads, the Regiment of Renown of Eshin Triads would be able to do some damage. That said, since we are fighting a choke battle, we are going to pop off a Wind of Death, not an overcast one, so it won't do crazy amounts of damage, and will probably be on par with the Warp Lightning spam from the enemy. Anyway, looks like the fight has devolved into essentially two distinct skirmishes. We have one on on the left flank, and the right flank is still holding. Our Strigoi is still chasing around and attacking those teeth breakers, while the assassin attempts to go after him, but he's going to continue ignoring the assassin because we can't have those rattling guns fire. They do be scary after all. A couple more. Oh, now another chain lightning. Damn, we really gotta stop that darn. What do we have here? Grayseer. Okay. Not a warlock master. At the very least, the chain lightning is probably not particularly threatening to the crypt horrors, but it's killing ghouls in droves, probably. I'd say distinctly likely, much more so than the enemy rats are. And yeah, just a good old-fashioned brawl as we work our way through this, though, well, you know, I like brawls, generally speaking, infantry battles like this, and maybe it's another reason why I really like the vampire counts, because their fights do have a tendency to devolve into such things. Or were always intended to be such things anyway. And it ain't a bad thing. Anyway, bounce power is about 90% in our favor now. The enemy Grayseer has moved towards the enemy line, and our Strigoi has turned to the enemy assassin now that the rest of our units have mobbed those teeth breakers. With the rattling guns unable to fire, with the enemy lord and enemy assassin booking it on out of there, I guess the rest of the rats have given up any hope of winning this fight, and with that, the battle is ours. Actually, the corruption of this greenish Scaen corruption actually looks fairly decent for the ghoul army in particular as well, since it I don't know, almost matches their color scheme. Kind of works. We've got a little bit more of a sort of sickly puke green color scheme on the various ghouls, but I don't know, still works for me. Oh, I wonder if we could borrow some ghouls from the from Arcan. Don't they have a different color scheme on them, just for a variety? I'm gonna try to remember that. Although I suppose we don't want to lose the veterancy on these guys. I'll think about it. We could also potentially pop them into a different army with more ghouls. Anyway, battle is ours. Easy enough, fun enough as well. Alright, there we go. Hardly surprising, a decisive victory. We did obviously suffer losses. The enemy, Lord, killed 90 units just by itself. Well, in fact, it's the only unit that got kills. Warp lightning spam in the blobs of our ghouls, but 90 kills against the ghouls is irrelevant when we can just heal them all back up. So, we'll return the captives for the cash, because we need it. And hopefully you didn't get a plague. You did not. Oh, you didn't have a gravedigger. Well, additional gravediggers will always be useful. Sort of striking, and... Alright, we do have the rebellion. Issue with the rebellion, Bathilda. If she takes damage, she will... Yeah, she'll suffer attrition. She's got 4 more turns of the plague, which is actually doing quite a bit of damage as well. And I assume that none of our stances will do anything. I mean, I know you can't become immune to it, but maybe we could reduce it, but it doesn't look like it.
Yes, my lord.
How would a plague even damage the skeletons, especially a Scaen plague? But anyway, let's see. I guess we need to move back this way, although we could actually have you leave the plague territories. This is a rather weak army. You know what? You know what we could do? We could manually fight this real quick. In fact, it might give us a chance to heal up the single entities at least. Alright, we'll do that in a second. Let's move everybody else around, then we'll figure out what to do with these guys. Manny, we'll start with you, sir. You are going to, after Statutory Lichsense and Thanatologists, have you guys steal tech from here. Like this and like this. Good, and level you up real quick. Okay. Then, Manny, you're gonna hit the Suntree Glades. You, Recruiter, are gonna keep going where you were supposed to. You, Vampire, are supposed to join Manny. And by him moving there, everybody else probably stopped moving. Alright, you, go here. Recruiter, go there. Do a little bit of recruitment if we can rack up enough blood kisses. Speaking of blood kisses, can you assassinate? Oh, come on, give it a... try harder. You. Leech XP, and then we'll move you down to Quashotla and Manny towards Wurzag to try to get the Wurzag defeat trait. Auto resolve, minimal damage, good, and occupy. All right, spotter, sure, probably not super useful to us. Glittering scales, however, is an A. Claw of Nagash, very nice. All right, Manny, leave the settlement, and Frederick, leave the settlement as well. Start moving this way. Alright, both of you will be full HP. That's you two. Kadon von Senkenhoff. Oh, recruiter, first of all. We have anything interesting here? Yes, we do have something interesting. Blood Knights. Alright, Kadon, that's you, buddy. Going to Necromantic Ritual. We'll need to then swap some units around. Let's give the last of our guys that we were carrying all this way to Wilmar. And take the Blood Dragon Warriors like so. Then we'll quickly take a single zombie unit, then we will go here and we will raise those Blood Knights. Like so. And then we will take the Blood Knights, like so. And then we will start ferrying them all the way southward, where we will start on a Blood Dragon army. Alright, good. You two can then... I assume you can auto-resolve this. Let's go for whatever vampire channeling stance. Who wants to attack? Who needs levels more? Looks like it's Wilhelm. Go. Alright, let's do this, and close victory, medium casualties, but no one will die. Ouch. Fair bit of damage, though. Whatever. Return captures as long as we don't get the Scaen Plague on these guys are okay. Another Fencer's Blade's not a bad find, either. Kadon, you're gonna go to the edge of this. We're gonna hit Morgheim. Oh, no, we're not. We gotta wait until that Scaen Plague runs its course, or... I mean, I guess we could. Can't say I like it, though. You two. One turn. Okay, you gotta do this, buddy. Alright, good. And what's your chance to succeed? 44% chance? Okay, well, there's nothing near anyway, so you gotta give it a try. And a success, well done. Bone Collector and Body Snatcher. Alright, you are gonna get wound, and we're good. Next up. Mathilda will wait on you. Gustav Grigorovich. I guess now that we're at war with Wurzag, you're kind of stuck where you are, so stay here. You might have to react to Gorbird's Iron Jaw. We have Gorbad Ironclaw at home. We might attack Antok, but I don't think he'd succeed, so I think Gustav is safe there. Recruiter. Next recruiter. What do we have? Okay, you're heading towards Zandri, and you're supposed to go into Necromantic Ritual stance. What do we have here? Are you in Zandri now?
The scent of death is strong.
What do we have here? Nothing too interesting. Guess we could raise another Morngul here. But otherwise, we're more or less okay with what we got. Alright, fine. You're gonna go here, then you're going to sit in Zandri. And from Zandri, you will generate or start working on our next army. So Spellbreakers combined with Mornguls combined with Bone Giants. This is going to be a Necrarch-led army. That's going to be all bony dudes with a little bit of Morngul support. We will have to get the Hexwraiths moving southward, but we'll do that later. Hello. Huh. It looks like the Bordalo Errant are moving towards us. Well, we certainly won't beat them with these armies, but we're working on it. Wait, is this working now? Are you getting mana? Okay, that's good. I guess we'll have you attack because you're an actual caster. You can only cast Invocation of Nehek and Danse Macabre, but it's better than nothing, so yeah, you two. Work together, go after Mortgen Wrathbringer. Ooh, if we can get there this episode, we'll have an epic battle for us. That we very well might lose, because yeah, those book armies are pretty crazy. A recruiter, aha! You finished up with the Black Knights here. And I would like you to... Oh, these guys took Castle Artois, and... Ooh. By the looks of it, Kuan is having a pretty bad time. And they're at war with the Shadow Legion. No dice on becoming a vassal, though, eh? Alright, well, it is what it is. Okay, wait. Okay, wait. 2 seconds, I just have to move my cat. Alright, sorry about that. Red Duke, you are still not able to fight. I wanted to raise some... Well, there's nobody at Castle Baston, eh? I was gonna have a fight with Grom the Paunch anyway. Maybe start moving towards Baston. 3.6, we should be able to raise some Crypt Horrors there, which was the other thing we wanted in this army. You're gonna steal tech from Bordelot, which is part of a different province. You're gonna steal tech from Castle Baston. Good, and you will move right to the edge of your territory, and you should be able to hit Baston next turn. What's the cost of actually building the Crypt Horrors again? We could temporarily build some. Do you have any corpse carts? No. Ah, but we can't build the well, we can't build corpse carts with unholy lodestone here. And I assume we can't raise anything useful? No. Alright, fine. And just build 4 zombies for now, and we'll replace them with Crypt Horrors as we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just transfer them immediately to the Red Duke. I'd also like to see... We have no new White Kings. Another Morbid Curiosity guy. I mean, I guess. And we gotta keep milling these guys and getting more tech thieves up and running after all. That hasn't really changed. And we're... Altharion, you want to peace out, buddy? Turn war against Nikar, just out of curiosity? No, no dice. Alright. I'd prefer not to have to defend Lyonesse shortly, but there's a decent likelihood that we will have to, and in fact, maybe we'll want to... It's actually cheaper to raise zombies than it is to build them, isn't it? You know what? We could just raise them instead. As needed, so just hold off on that. I just generally hold off. We'll wait. We'll wait on you two to do what you're doing. Bathilda, you're gonna move in a second. Gustav, you're fine. Recruiter, which recruiter? Oh, that's the other recruiter. And Red Duke, I've been here before. Gorsty. Alright, there's somebody that we need to move. I assume... Okay, you can reach the Haunted Forest. If we go here... Can't raise anything interesting. Alright, Kugath. I guess we're declaring war on you, buddy. You're currently at war with the Western provinces. Do we want to draw any of our allies into this? Does that do anything for us? I guess is the question. Or should we ask to join? I mean, I guess it does depend on how much these guys are willing to pay for us to join against Kugath. Pox Makers of Nurgle, 2.7k, it's not nothing. Although the good thing about having all your allies join wars is that they all become essentially more friendly to each other because they're all fighting the same factions, essentially. On the other hand, it's already quite difficult to get them to do anything, like attack who we want. So maybe we'll forgo it. Oh, I went to the wrong place. Maybe we'll just do it for the money. Join war against Poxmakers. Like so. For the money. 35, eh? And Clanician? 31. Well, we'll try to take Chiang and transfer to them. That might do it for us. I don't know. We'll give it a try. Join. Looks good to me. Let's take back our Haunted Forest. Too bad that it's a red territory for us, considering it has a landmark, but on the bright side, it's only a tier 1, or like, you can build it immediately, and it only goes up to tier 3, so it's fine. Go take the Haunted Forest. It's probably poorly defended. And, okay, maybe raise another zombie. We'll just build another zombie. Or raise it. 600 gold for a zombie? No. Auto-resolve. And occupy. And we're gonna get another plague upon us, aren't we? Oh, well. Go to repress mortals, although I guess it's not really mortals there anymore. And then... go for the zombie. Wait, don't you... Wait, let me just see your trait here first. Ooh, you leveled up. Ever Onward. Effect range and wins a magic cost reduction for Van Hell's Dance Macabre. Ravenous Dead. Healing for all zombies faction-wide. Weapon strength for all zombies faction-wide. And casualties for bloodline units in this particular army. That's interesting. But what bloodline units would we even want to put in here? Honestly, I don't think we have enough bloodline units to bother putting any in here. At least I doubt that I would. We're going to go Forever Onward for now. Effect range plus 35 for Vigor Mortis and Reliquary Corruption. Wait, you have Reliquary Corruption on... Oh, interesting. So the Brother's Gorst Corpse Cart, difficult to say, essentially functions as a Mortis engine. Anyway. We'll do that, and we'll, I guess, leave the settlement and start channeling, because we obviously need to. Are you able to take this? Can you build another Vargulf? Or build. Summon another Vargulf? You can. Yeah, alright. Real quick. I know it's kind of annoying, but to transfer... Balazif lose, I guess, a skeleton spear. Not really doing anything with it.
Everything dies.
And get the other Vargulf up and running. Just because we have Vargulfs here, I mean, why not? It's on theme. And lose one zombie, and we'll put the... and put Reginald Lichberg in here as well. Alright, attack this. Ooh, 6,000. Ah, damn, it's the defeat. Well, maybe not so damn. Maybe it'll be a nice fight. I just want to see here. We got Hex Wraiths available, which means we would be able to raise Blood Knights here should we wanted them. Should we want them, rather. Scrap Towers, do you have a defensive garrison structure? Yes, indeed you do. Defenses. Alright, well, should be fun for Saved. These zombies may not be super zombies, but they do have various buffs anyway, so I think we'll be fine. And go for our first battle against Nurgle. Alright, here we go. Saved may be just a temporary lord, but he'll work for now. And we can use him to experience our first battle against the Nurglites here. And it should be a pretty interesting one. We'll have to go through the choke points of the enemy settlement once again. And the big deal here is the fact that the enemy has 5 Beasts of Nurgle. Now, Beasts of Nurgle and a tower as well that we can't do anything about because we don't have any bats. Well, that was... should have maybe popped a bat unit in this army just in case, but that's something to know for the future. Anyway, as I was saying, the Beasts of Nurgle, they're decent in vanilla, but they're very good in SFO, as SFO increases their numbers from 1 to 4, and, well, they're all regenerative, they all have a lot of HP, and they give us a little bit of a taste of our own medicine. And even the smaller versions of them, because they're multiplied in numbers, are almost as big as the Vargulf is, which is interesting, though I'd wager the Vargulf is stronger, but it's a little bit of regen versus regen sort of battle, and it's probably going to take a while for the two to knock each other down. And ooh, wow, and the beasts have enough mass to send the Vargulf tumbling to the ground. Interesting. Anyway, over on the right flank / choke point, we have sent Saved and the Corpse Guard and 2 Vargulfs as well as our White King, while on the left we are sending most of our infantry, including our Grave Guard with halberds. We'll see, and great weapons, I guess. We'll see how they perform. Obviously, this side will also need heals, but we're also going to mob this side with zombies, since the enemy is sort of fighting outside the choke point here, and the space isn't nearly as limited as it is on the right side. And it looks like the cultist has come, and it will open up a greater gate of Nurgle, allowing a puke-spewing great unclean one, among other unsavory fluids, to join the fray with the Beast of Nurgle. Now, I don't remember, in SFO, do these guys have a limited time, or are they permanent until destroyed? No, they are 160 seconds, so we don't really have to worry about the Great Unclean one. At the very least, if it wants to waste its 160 seconds killing zombies, that'll work just fine for us. A little bit less, well, a little bit more concerning, rather, if it's a Graveguard that get destroyed like that, but, well, we can always heal them up. And we may want to send a few other units to help out over on this side. One of the Vargulfs, for example, and possibly even the Corpse Guard to buff everybody up here. Obviously, we don't have, I mean, this is just a smattering of troops put together just to deal with this specifically, so it's not quite a full-fledged army. Damn, those Beasts of Nurgle's definitely using their mass to hold us back. The Crypt Horrors and the Vargulfs still fighting them, but by the looks of it, they have just as much full HP as we do. 3 minutes straight brawl, they have full HP, and we have full HP on the right side. Very interesting to fight Nurgle as vampire counts, I gotta say. And just too bad Mannfred wasn't here. I'd be interested to see how his army might perform against Kugath's army. And how he would perform against Kugath himself. Kugath is one of the best sort of melee fighting lords in the game, despite being very much a hybrid lord. And I don't know whether Manny could outlast him in terms of damage versus heal value. It would be interesting to see as well. I take it the Tamarkon, since his edition has overtaken Mr. Kugath in terms of being just impossible to kill in melee. Or at the very least, very, very slow and difficult. Anyway, out over on the left flank, it's getting a little bit easier to surround and damage those beasts of Nurgle compared to where we were fighting in the choke point over on the right flank. So hopefully the Vargulf and the Graveguard with halberds here are doing their work. Though it is definitely taking effort. Little tiny Nurglings are running around below, biting at the ankles of all the troops, though I'd wager the Graveguard hardly care about that. Alright, and this is the first of the Beasts of Nurgle unit. 1 out of 5, down to half HP, 4.5 minutes in. A heck of a brawl. And of course, this is a tier 4 tower with the explosion damage. It's been firing down upon us this entire time, and by the looks of it, depleting the numbers of zombies that we've sent over to this side as well. Keeping it interesting, that's for sure, and I'm excited about this because it'll mean probably some damn solid fights as we go forward against the Nurglites, and before we wipe Kugath out and take those lovely isles for ourselves, turn it into a very nice money-making territory. I wonder if it'll make more money than Camrywell. It doesn't have a gold mine, but it does have that port that gives us additional money. The gold mine for the Vamps, though, does increase all buildings' income in the territory by 15%, so well, there's that. I guess we'll see. Anyway, just gotta keep working our way through the Beast of Nurgle. Once again, tactically, there's not much to say about this particular battle. It's just a matter of mobbing the enemies with zombies and waiting them out, essentially. Get them to reach their healing cap and slowly wipe out their units. Down goes a Beast of Nurgle. And another Beast of Nurgle. I believe that's the first of the 5 units that has fallen. The enemy cultist is also running around, having gotten heavily damaged by the Vargulf before it turned its Bat Hulk fists upon the beasts, and not in a good way. But if the cultist comes back, we'll probably deal with it. Also, as we can see, the Great Unclean One did get unsummoned as it simply ran out of time. Too bad, so sad. Oh, it looks like our Crypt Cores have not lost any units yet, or if they have, they were resurrected, but they have reached their healing cap, which ain't so great. And the Beasts of Nurgle over on this side are still fighting just fine. Certainly take an effort. This is, however, not the only thing that's going on in the midst of the enemy army. We have our 2 Black Knights with lances and barding, each of which has run around the enemy settlement. This one has moved to this minor supply location sneakily to try to get rid of this tower because it's been very, very damaging to us so far. The other unit of Black Knights attempted to take the other minor supply location over on the left, but the enemy lord, as well as another unit of beasts, did peel away to deal with them, so gotta deal with them. Our Vargulf has moved once again towards that cultist. Let's knock it out for good. It will run into the comparative safety of those plague bearers, but unfortunately for it, Bat Hulk has the mass to not care about the plague bearers at all and run the cultist down. There we go. You gotta love Bat Hulks. I've definitely been waiting to get the Vargulfs on the field. Probably won't keep them in Gorst's army. I haven't quite decided what we want to put in together with the zombies. Not that it's super necessary, it's just that we also don't necessarily want every single fight with Gorst to be like 20-30 minutes long as he slowly overwhelms jerks with zombies. It's definitely possible to do that with him, with all of his buffs and the insane healing cap that he offers to the zombies, but again, it just takes the absolute ages. And plus, he does have the ability to summon Graveguard to do additional damage instead of the regular raised dead. And if he can summon Graveguard, we can put some Graveguard in his army. I guess the only reason we might want to avoid that is we have other Graveguard in all other armies. Mourngulls are a possibility, but we are building Mourngulls in a Necrarch force in our second Necrarch army. We could also borrow some units from one of our allies, though it remains to be seen which ones. Oh, maybe Rotting Leviathans? That might be neat. I hadn't considered which army we might put some rotting leviathans in. Big old pile of zombies just running around those rotting leviathans. And the nice thing about the rotting leviathans is they're also very difficult to, and they're also very, very difficult to kill. Bit of PTSD about them for those who watched the Skull Taker campaign, encountering tons of rotting leviathans in the islands in the sea with the blood hosts, and just having to commit like the entire blood host to try and bring one down over and over again. As it seemed, we got the luck of the draw and just constantly got those rotting leviathans. I do absolutely love the big old crabby boys and the little crabby boys as well, and the rotting Promethean gunnery mob units are some of my favorite units in the game as well. I love Vamp Coast almost as much as the regular vampire counts, and as I've said before, they're essentially the same faction, so yeah. But anyway, looks like the third, I believe, unit of the Beasts of Nurgle is at last down out here. The two here are still holding. The Crypt Horrors are pretty much done, however, as they've reached less than half of their healing cap, and, well, their units are still there, but, yeah. Oh, and it looks like the Vargulf over on this side has reached its healing cap as well. This perhaps hardly surprising, as this one, unlike the other one, has been fighting in the midst of a pile of enemy troops, and has been suffering attacks for the entire time. It was working fairly well, though. The armor piercing probably not too valuable here, with the exception of against the Forsaken, as most of the Nurglite units here are relatively light armored. No Chaos Warriors were chosen to contend with here. Though I'm sure that would have made it a little bit more difficult. Anyway, we are 10 minutes into this fight and still not breaking through the choke. Man, 2 regenerative armies, 10 minutes in this one place. It's neat, and also you gotta remember that this isn't just the fact that it's these 2 armies, it's also something SFO does, because SFO inflates various stats to keep battles running a little bit longer, as we've seen many a time already throughout this campaign against the Empire and all that sort of stuff. So in combination, it's a heck of a brawl. Now it looks like the beasts are knocked down the Vargulf once again, but not to worry, the poor little guy is gonna be just fine. And ooh, I gotta remember to name the Vargulfs. I already have like 6 names for them. I already have more names for Vargulfs than I have Vargulfs. Although I suppose, once again, I don't know whether we'll keep these particular Vargulfs around, as opposed to start their armies up somewhere else. On the other hand, these Vargulfs do, well, probably rack up a decent amount of veterancy. Especially if we continue fighting Kugath's faction, the Poxmakers. Anyway, looks like we have at last broken through the left flank of the enemy's settlement, and we will give chase to whatever units we can. Forsaken will be run down by the Black Knights, who at last have something to do. Though, to be fair, even though they haven't had a lot of combat experience in this particular battle, what they did do is still giving them the MVP, or at least tied for MVP, with the Vargulfs for bringing down that tier 4 tower. I do wish you could see how much damage / kills towers got, because I'd be very interested in some battles like this one, because it feels like it probably was a fair amount. Alright, still working through those Beasts of Nurgle on this side. Ooh, this Vargulf is down to about half of its HP in terms of its healing cap, and we'll probably have to back it off sooner rather than later. And the same thing goes for Saved von Drak, who is down to nearly half HP as well. There we go. It's weird that the mass of the little troops is preventing the big boys from attacking each other. But it looks like we're okay. Just to increase the damage slightly and try to speed up the matter over on this side, we've sent the Crypt Horrors back in to do a charge, and then we'll back them off before they all die, because their healing cap is gonna get them killed shortly. Fortunately, though, the rest of our army has arrived, and it's time to mob this choke point from every side. If you're wondering why we didn't attack the enemy settlement from, I don't remember how many entrances this territory has. I want to say at least 6. The reason we didn't want to attack through every single one of them is because we have limited support units. One corpse cart and one necromancer to support the units. And you gotta remember that the zombies and even the graveguard, all the vampire coast infantry are quite weak without their support. So we gotta keep them with them. Vigor Mortis alone gives them +10/+10 on their melee attack and defense stats, and that's without even considering the unholy lodestone that heals them up. And the same thing goes for Master of the Undead, or Master of the Dead rather, for the Necromancers. The value of corpse guards for the faction can't be underestimated. But anyway, looks like most of the enemy plague bearers are done. The Forsaken, I believe, have routed, and 2 plague bearers and still 2 units of Beasts of Nurgle remain. Though, like us, one of them has reached half in terms of its healing cap. There's another unit of Beasts of Nurgle out there. Oh man. Huh, was that a 6th one, or did I miscount? Well, maybe I miscounted. All good. On the bright side, now that we've sent the Graveguard with halberds here, that's a little bit of extra anti-large damage against the beasts, and hopefully that means we'll bring them down a bit faster. How long? How long? 14 minutes these guys have been holding this choke point. You gotta give credit where it's due. These beasts and these plague bearers have been absolute heroes. Of course, if we had any range units, we would have probably done this fairly easily. Even a single one of those anti-large crossbows, those Sylvanian crossbows, would have done for these plague bears. But we can't have them in every army, and I mean, they're limited in numbers as well, so I don't want to rely on them too much either. And then once again, there is the possibility of using the Vampire Coast units, which I definitely consider to be part of the same faction and fair game, even if we don't have the knowledge to buff them. Alright, down go the beasts at last, and it looks like their numbers have dwindled to 0 here. The bounce power shifts to about 90, maybe 85% in our favor, and by the looks of it, it's just now a matter of reaching the enemy Chaos Lord in terms of proximity, which will force him to shatter and melt away. There we go. Enemy Lord is out. One last unit of Beasts of Nurgle. The Vargulfs will give chase to the enemy Lord, but will get stopped by the beasts. One more short contest rather, with these absolutely heroic units. And man, this battle took a while. And that's even with the Vargulfs being able to dish out damage. Very nice. I think what we'll need, well, I mean, obviously we don't have casting available to us yet, so if we had various things able to support us, we'd probably go through this faster. Spirit Leech would have probably really helped here. Soul Blight to reduce the enemy's capabilities, maybe even Enfeebling Foe to reduce the melee defense of a specific unit that we'd be focusing down. Lots and lots of debuff spells, essentially, or direct damage spells that would have sped the matter up. And well, obviously we'll get their casters or level up this caster as quick as we can, but for now, we did this the old-fashioned way. Lovely. Ooh, Pyrrhic victory, and damn, did that take quite a bit of effort. Those Beasts of Nurgle, they were able to hold for absolute ages. I think in terms of sheer battle length, that might have been the longest one we've had so far. Quite impressed with the Beasts of Nurgle, and yeah, getting a taste of our own medicine. A regenerative slow faction versus regenerative slow faction. And that damn tower firing at us at the same time for quite a while didn't help matters. Vargulf Supremacy, though, did help us out with 61k and 52k damage, though I imagine the numbers are pretty big and inflated on both sides of the battle. Occupy. Lovely. A Barded Skeletal Steed for Reginald Lichberg, and a Potion of Speed that we don't really care about, though. Could the Potion of Speed be combined with some... yes, get 2 Swords of Striking. Fuse into... Helmet Discord, nice, very nice. Spotter's Spyglass and Potion of Speed, come on, not useless. Obsidian Amulet, it's okay. Anything else that we can transform? No, it doesn't look like it. Alright, well, we're getting at least some stuff, and Spear of Pact, not a bad weapon. I like the fact that it adds melee defense. I assume we can't. We're not going to steal it anyway, but I assume we can't. Gorsty and Co. Well, I guess you guys are good where you are now, at least for a few more turns. I expect perhaps we'll want to raise a couple more of those Graveguard with halberds as well. We could do so next turn once we pop into Necromantic Ritual Stance. In fact, we might want to set outside of it. No, we will not. What's up for attrition out there? Yeah, we'll raise a couple more Graveguard with halberds next turn if we are to encounter a lot more of those beasts of Nurgle, and by the looks of it, they are... Okay, there's at least 3 here. They're a big portion of the enemy's defenses. We'll definitely want the buffs of the anti-large on our units. Anyway, you steal tech. Good. And who else still needs to move other than Bathilda? Let's just see. Kelly, King, you're waiting, right? Yeah, we moved the other army. Copyright infringement, grave robber. Alright, let's steal a little bit of tech before we continue. Like so and like so. Alright, and I take it neither of you have heroes in your army? No. Assassin, move this way and then try to block the army and then try to find somebody. Ah, there's a hero in Fesket's army. Block army, 37% chance to... Ugh. You know what? I don't like that. Go to Bitterstone Mine and maybe level up by finding the stuff there. It's too risky. And just too annoying to have had moved all this way just for it to, you know, just for the units to die. Anyway, you go find another hero if you can. Frankly, I don't see any, but start moving this way. Recruiter is good, and then the vamps are all going to join these armies, so let's move you all up here as well. Move, and one more time. Good. Alright, so that's all the vamps. Undead Researcher has not stolen tech for a while. I guess you're heading towards Spite Peak. Let's scout those ruins. How many turns do you have before it runs out? 4 turns. Alright, so we'll steal tech next turn. And, oh! Clan Rectus. I wasn't expecting that. They're a lot closer to Moors than I was expecting. Just gotta wait for them to cancel their trade agreement, which hopefully they will, and then we'll immediately attack them. Alright, next up, I believe... Okay, Bathilda, let's do a quick little manual fight with you. Put you into Vampiric Channeling, I guess. Let's get Muzrub. Do we need you to reinforce? I think we'll be fine. Pyrrhic Victory? I don't think so. Banner of Swiftness on Bathilda. Go. We'll just mostly use the black coaches for this because I don't want the other units to suffer damage. I mean, they'll slowly move up and such, but they shouldn't really be needed here. While we have the Skaven, and it's another really good reason to wipe the Skaven out, because the Skaven plagues are incredibly irritating. 5 turns of attrition, and that's assuming that it doesn't spread to other places. Essentially knocking out an army completely, making it useless for that many turns is quite big. So, yeah. Anyway, you guys, let's put you into formation, shall we? Form up if you would. Range units like so, like so. You guys don't have skirmish mode? Indeed you don't. You know what, let's sort of protect the flanks with the great weapons. Then we'll do corpse carts here, and this can be group 3. Alright, and you guys can march together like this. Watch out for the Goblin Wolf Riders, but otherwise we're good. Start battle. Start moving forward to where this rock is protecting you. You guys charge through the enemy. Don't sit there, please. And let's go for the Forbidden Rod. Start some summoning here. Alright, whatever. Alright, you guys go after the range units, Bathilda go after the enemy lord, and Black Coaches, it's your time to shine. Frankly, I probably should separate you into multiple groups so that you don't sort of overlap too much. There we go. Charge on through, and then just do it again. Alright, Bathilda, I'd like you to debuff the enemy orc war boss here. How's our main stack? Main portion of our army, rather. Still approaching, gonna take a while, but that's all good. Alright, Black Coaches, cycle charge on through, etc. Just gotta make sure to heal them before the end of the battle. Bathilda, I'm just doing this manually because it's a silly little fight, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Keep chasing those goblin archers until they shatter. Black Coaches, move out. You can charge once again, just try not to get stuck on the other Black Coach. You move away and then charge, good. And charge these guys, and then you move away. Alright, just try to rack up some kills. And yeah, we could just keep them still and have them work together. You know what, allow that unit to come back, I don't really care that much. We do, however, want to maybe heal up this black coach because it's starting to take damage. Our Warboss is still fighting as well. And ooh, I noticed that the enemy units are fighting. The rest of our army is, by the looks of it, on the approach, so let's start moving them forward properly. Alright, start getting the black coaches together. We can give them an overcast invocation of Nehek shortly. Charge into those goblin wolf raiders or riders. You want to pop the transfix on the enemy? Let's wait until our main stag gets here and then we'll do it. As long as we're not suffering actual damage, we'll be just fine, I'm sure. Alright, screw it, just do it now. While we're fighting, and let's pop the enfeebling foe and the enemy lord. Alright, black coaches, I'll speed this up in a second as well. Alright, you guys will be fine, I'm sure, and speed it up, the battle should be just about done. Oh, whoa, okay, that's what I get for speeding up. Black Coach immediately gets ripped apart by enemy range units. Let's make sure that you two go after the range units. Don't let it destroy the corpse carts, and we'll keep heals flowing. And this Black Coach is starting to reach its healing cap, so there it is, but it doesn't matter because the battle is just about ours. There it is. Let's give it a few seconds. Black Coach, you can heal up while fighting. I wanted to get to maxed out because, once again, we don't want to... okay, let's not have you guys get killed. And I just want the Black Coach to heal up. Wait, do we actually have to chase? I don't remember with rebel armies, because then we might have to auto-resolve. Maybe if the Lord dies, the entire army does? Like Blood Hosts? Maybe, hopefully. We'll see. Stop this unit in its tracks. Everybody attack. We got another heal in a few seconds, but keep chasing while you can. This is what that darn plague forces us to do. But what can you do? Transfix its speed lowered and good enough. Alright, let's find out. I guess if we have to hit them again, if the army isn't destroyed, we'll auto-resolve, but we'll do it with the ghoul army reinforcing. Which is why we didn't move it. I mean, it's also because I didn't want to move it, but, you know, happy accident. Or all according to plan. You can trust me. Alright, obviously massive amounts of kills on the Black Coaches one, tiny bit of damage, and you know what? While I'd love to have the money, we're gonna keep ourselves healed so that this army isn't so bad. And... yeah, rebel armies do survive. Well, isn't that annoying? Oh! They got the plague. If we reinforce, there's a decent likelihood that you get the plague as well. Okay, game, you better not screw us. I'm gonna auto-resolve this. And close victory, medium. You gotta be frickin' kidding me. See, these are single entities, and okay. Sorry guys, but you gotta do it sometimes. This is why Skaven plagues are so annoying. And I don't think we have any counterplay available to us at the time. We have the attrition reduction available in our blue line, but otherwise it doesn't do anything. And the auto-resolve hates fast-moving single entities like the Black Coaches, so yeah. Alright, start deployment, start battle, go. Everybody go, go, go. Max speed, max speed. Go. In fact, you maybe want to summon some zombos there. Alright, no, you have to miscast. Alright, and Black Coaches Group 2. Go after that Goblin Archer unit. The rest of our units are all moving in. You get ready to summon another unit of zombies on this unit. It's silly, it's so silly. And this is why I was looking for a mod that gives you like a auto-resolve auto-win button, because there are situations where, you know, I can trust myself to use that button and just sort of avoid annoying things like this, but I couldn't find one. There are mods that seem to modify the sort of effectiveness of auto-resolve of the player, just generally speaking, against the AI, but that's not what I want, because that would modify all auto-resolves against the AI, and sometimes the auto-resolves are fair, and it's just these tiny, tiny battles where we actually want to avoid them, so, yeah. But it is what it is. Anyway, at the very least, this is building up the XP of our Black Coaches in this particular army. And Bathilda will probably command the sort of human army for a little while, because it's going to take a bit of time to build up the sufficient numbers of crossbows and Alamian bordermen, but then, or border mercenaries, whatever, but then we'll obviously swap out later. This time you could take the money, because there's no replenishment. And at least this way you didn't transfer the plague to the ghouls. Now the corpse thief and the pigeon plucker pendant ain't horrible. You are now going to march stance, go this way. Until these guys betray us, inevitably, we can't do anything about it. You are going into vampiric no, you're going to ambush stance. You're going right here, go around, and you'll hit Villae's Sorrow afterwards, which I presume is also full of Clan Morskaven. There is Clan Verms as well, who currently occupy 6 territories. Huh. Villae's Sorrow could be Verms. How many territories does Morse have? 5. The heck? Okay, wait, so 1... Probably 2. This is Rictus, so there's a good chance that some of this is Rictus. This is... Huh. Because then, maybe Verms is here? I have no idea. Well, I guess we'll find out. Not much we can do about it for now, and I believe we're good to build buildings and then end the turn at last. Alright, so let's build buildings. We did rack up at least a little bit of money. Start with the gibbets, as always. The gibbet search never ends. Coast of Erebus, Phyrus, you are fine. I'd love to upgrade Vulture Mountain, but we can't do it right now. Death Gorge, you should probably be upgraded shortly. And just do it right now, it's only 3k. And just build this as well. While we're there. Kirigzorn, Lost Plateau, Mount Arachnos, aha, Karagarud, Obsidian Amulet Carver, and Gallows, and I guess Balefire Brazier. Nobbler Country, yes. Lichyard, Charnel Pit, and Gibbet. Flayed Rock. Do we need to keep the horror building here? I mean, I guess we could for now. This is tier 3, so until we upgrade it, there's not much we can do. Alright, Crooked Fang, Fortin, Dringo, Karaz. I mean, I guess we could upgrade you. It's going to take a while to build your upgrades anyway. Haunted Forest, let's build the first level of the Desecrated Grove. Central Jungles, and let's go for the Gibbet and the Charnel Pit, and then lastly, Marshes. We are good. We'll hold on to the rest of the money, because there's a decent likelihood we'll need to continue building stuff next turn. Manny, you leveled up. Alright, I got too used to needing to pop Mentor down, but otherwise, I think you're okay. I really would like to get him Immortal Horror, as every lord, every vampire lord needs it, but I want to max out his, you know, damage dealing capability. Why did I go for Curse of Years? Wind of Death, Purple Sun, Curse of Years, just so that he has access to all of those. Alright, and I believe that's an end turn. Unassigned skill points, building upgrades, Garrison Lord, Outpost upgrade, not paying for it, and end turn. Alright, let's see. I wonder how many turns it'll take to get to that book army with our allied armies. And where is Gorbird's Ironjaw gonna go? Alright, Wurzag is still there. Poor Talaqua. I feel bad for Tic-Tac-Toe, he's so adorable. Alberic. Oh, you want peace now that our army's on the approach. I mean, we could attack Itza instead. I would avoid having to deal with Mac's sense of the braid, and the thing is, I did want to peace out with them anyway, so that we were able to force the Awakened into a war with them, so it's not so bad. Let's peace out with them temporarily, and then in 10 turns redeclare war on them with our allies in tow. We could also possibly even position our allied armies. Confederation, Thousand Moslem Bloodhall Coven, irrelevant. Campaign movement range +10, good. Eastern Badlands Rebellion, oh, because of the Skaven Plague, they're probably just going to continuously rebel, aren't they? What if we collect income? It's still gonna happen, isn't it? Oh! Well, if it isn't Queeky. Oh, Queeky. We found you. The ghouls have found you. Ooh, this will be a fun fight. Guess we don't want to transfer Bathilda's Plague to this, so I guess we'll be fighting like this. We were always expecting to be fighting droves of rats here, so I guess ghouls, it's all you. Bestial Monstrosity. Wait, didn't I get that? I was intending to, but I guess I didn't. Alright, what about here? We have Wind of Death, I guess since we do, we can go into ghoulish tendencies. Frankly, because they're all Witherers, we have Forbidden Rod, so that should use that. You can get Wind of Death as well. Lots of clan rats available. Also, before I forget, what do we have in terms of necros? Ah, damn, I was gonna get this Morbid Curiosity guy, and then I didn't. Yeah, we needed... Or did I? Because that's where, is that where Techromancer is from? But I guess we can get another one here, eh? Yeah. Alright, fine, let's get another one. All tech needs to be stolen. Morbid Curiosity, starting at level 15 now. Good. Just gotta get to the point where we start with Unholy Lodestones, and then we never need to build corpse carts again. In terms of names for corpse carts, I'll probably just give them to necromancers, because they're essentially just functioning as corpse carts anyways, right? Wound and assault units, and I guess steel tech, nothing else. Or boost income, whatever. Ah, nice to get these guys up at high levels now. You can be, I don't know. How about Cadaver Haver? Live. Good, good, good. All right, now let's do the fight with the ghouls against Queeky, shall we? Now, this seems like it'll be fun. Do we need the channeling? Vigor loss at the cost of miscast. And we will be casting. We have plenty of mana. Also, it's... Okay, we'll select attack after. Go. It's only 10% vigor loss at the end of the day. It's not so bad. All right, and Queek ran away. He does buff his clan rats quite a bit, 40 and 31 with 58 leadership, so they have higher stats than our ghouls do, minus their weapon strength, which is less than half of the ghouls, but they're better in every stat otherwise, including armor, and... He does have some Storm Vermin, the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, and Ska Bloodtails with him, which will be a toughie, because, well, it'll be a toughie. Go. Alrighty, here we go. A Queek Head Taker and Ska Bloodtail, and yet another choke point battle. The game keeps screwing the ghouls over in this manner, in the sense that it's difficult to take advantage of everything that makes the ghouls great when you're forced into these choke points. But oh well, what can you do? Just going to have to overcome it, and well, Wilhelm's been pretty good at overcoming it so far, so we'll see. Unlike the last choke point battle, though, we will do this one a little bit differently, as we don't want the enemy to take full advantage, especially as Queek and Ska are both scary fighters. So, the way we're approaching this is this. All of our visible units are deployed on the left flank, together with at least a few units of Crypt Ghouls. I actually made a small mistake by keeping these Crypt Ghouls together with the Crypt Horrors, because the Crypt Horrors are visible, so the unit of Plague Claw Catapults is firing at the Crypt Horrors, not doing any damage to them, but hitting the Crypt Ghouls that are nearby, so I should have deployed them a little bit further. But anyway, these guys are going to charge together and become visible as soon as possible. The idea here is to force as many of the enemy army to move away to this one choke point as possible, so that they can be concentrated here, while these guys are all deployed here hidden. So the 5 units of ghouls as well as the 2 units of feral strigoi. They will try to mob, overrun, and break through this other choke point, and then obliterate the Plague Claw Catapults and attempt to get at the bigger concentration of enemy troops that we hopefully have artificially inflated over on that flank. Of course, at the same time, a Strigoi Vampire Lord will head directly towards that Plague Claw Catapult. He will get mobbed by Storm Vermin, but hopefully he can break through them. I really gotta get him his Terrorgeist as fast as possible, just to... oh wow, it gets knocked down by the Skaven Chieftain, who has fairly decent stats, 69 and armor piercing as well. Anyway, gotta stop those Plague Claws from firing. But in the meantime, our Crypt Horrors and Ghouls have closed with the first of the enemy units. One poor little unit of Clan Rats sent up ahead of the enemy army. Might be a summoned one, who knows. And they will get absolutely torn apart by those Crypt Horrors within seconds. And the Chieftain... Huh, wait, is this the same... Huh, he ran here real quick. Alright, but that's fine. That's exactly what we wanted. So, now it's time to annoy the enemy. They are concentrated fairly well here, so we'll pop the Winds of Death through their lines. Once again, not overcast right now, so as we can see, it's not killing off too many units, as the non-overcast doesn't tend to get too many kills, but does okay damage. Maybe about 25% of the HP of the units that it hit. Out here, our Feral Strigoi and the other ghouls have closed the distance and are going to try to break through the storm vermin, led by, I think, Ska, who I saw out here. He's hanging around Queek, which is kind of his whole life. Anyway, these guys are defending, and we are in the process of overrunning them from various sides, as the other ghouls were able to move around and finally get some use out of their mobility. And there we go. Stormvermin now surrounded by ghouls from every direction, and the feral Strigoi among them, dishing out that armor-piercing damage. Poison ones, of course, stacking up lethal, toxic, and regular, and helping us outlast the enemy. I wonder if there's any other kind of damage over time effect that we could borrow from another unit that we could put in this army. I think those are the main... I think those are the 3 main poisons. I'm gonna take a look at the units available to us from our allies. I'd love to mix a 4th poison into here, and with everything else. Should be pretty fun. Anyway, looks like the left flank, the left choke, I should say, is having a pretty bad time of it. The enemy attempted to move to the right choke to reinforce, but what we did was summon zombies in their way, essentially bogging down the rats with the tar pit of zombies. Classic vampires for you. And this allows the ghouls to continue to rampage on the right flank, while the heftier, bulkier crypt horrors hold back the tide and, well, damage them as well on the left flank as well. Alright, Feral Strigoi looking pretty good as they obliterate this unit of storm vermin. The ghouls are taking a little bit of damage here, and I think at least one of them is heavily damaged. Okay, these two have lost about 25% HP, so we gotta be careful. Ska Bloodtail is facing off against our Strigoi Lord one-on-one, while Queek is attempting to break through the line of ghouls while he is doing so, but is having a fairly difficult time of it. Unfortunately for the rats, they don't have enough mass to easily be able to break through in the formations of infantry that we have here, which is working for us as Ska Bloodtail is out here alone. He does have that explosion ability of his, which knocks back all of our units, but not enough, certainly, to knock back the Strigoi Lord. And Ska's down to 40% of his HP, a little bit more. Queek's taking a tiny bit of damage from the various ghouls, but not all that much. He does have way too much armor. He has 108 armor, and we've no armor piercing. We will put a vampire in this army just for that Dark Benediction trait. The +5 armor piercing will be very valuable here. And I suppose the leadership as well, as ghouls do tend to be very fragile. Down goes Ska Bloodtail. That looked like a KO to me, as he lost consciousness before he fell to the ground. The chieftain has routed and rallied and is moving back into the fray, but the battle is nearly in our favor. That's some great battles for the ghoul army as well. It's been pretty darn fun so far. Been very much enjoying Mr. Wilhelm here. We might work him into the community canon. We'll see. I do like that he spawned as a Von Sinclair together with Bathilda nearby, because she's a Von Sinclair. I also like the idea of him not being directly a Von Sinclair. Maybe Bathilda found him while on her sort of rampage through the Darklands and Badlands and etc. Just general rampaging, as her army likes to do. And the sort of ghoul horde may be sort of formed attacking things that are left behind after the conquests of Bathilda, and essentially just sort of followers of the army, which actually lorefully kind of makes sense, because ghouls do like to follow vampiric armies in general. And Bathilda perhaps found Wilmar and allowed him to lead this army. Certainly a thought. I'm open to ideas as well as what happened here. But anyway, close victory for us. Queek and Ska Bloodtail both go down, and that's a lovely defeat trait and a lovely second choke point battle and well-earned win for the ghouls. Alrighty, 2 losses. Granted, we actually did suffer severe losses on a couple of our units. In fact, a couple of our units, I think it was the Ghoul Scouts, nearly melted away. They were severely damaged in the fight, but fortunately we were able to bring every single unit, or nearly every single unit, back from the brink. Queek's army is destroyed, and he has a very, very good defeat rate, as it offers us... let's return captives. It offers us upkeep production army-wide for this particular army. Ally mission successful as well, that's nice. And yeah, there we go, Vermin Flail. Enemy armor reduction, also nice because the Crypt Ghouls lack the armor piercing, and that upkeep reduction will be quite helpful, as well as, surprisingly, the Ghoul army is a very expensive army. Though I guess it's mostly the Crypt Horrors and the Feral Strigoi that are causing it. Anyway, still want to get to Valea's Sorrow, and I guess we're going to have to cross the river here, so that's what we'll do. Hopefully you don't pick up the plague, but there's not much we can do about that right now. Short Assailant, and... I mean, I guess Bathilda is stuck where she is, unfortunately. Once again, since we have the plague, we can't really do anything about it. We can't plague ship her either, because there's no water that's sufficiently near, and I don't want to potentially transfer more plague to other places, so I guess we'll just sit here. Actually, would prefer... Should we sit in an implaginated territory or in a non-implaginated territory? Wait, implaginated... Well, let's just go to the implaginated territory already, rather than the okay territory. Hopefully, less chance to spread it over there. Anyway, and good job to you two. Manny, you're still hunting a nice Wurzag. And we got one more turn of him besieging, eh? I think we're gonna march stance regardless of the attrition that it'll cause. Hopefully, Wurzag will finish up with Talaqua and then go to the Statues of the Gods to attempt to defend against Mannfred, as that would work really nicely for us. It seems that you are moving past us here. Frankly, he probably doesn't have any... Like, this army can't really threaten us in any way, so I'm just going to assume that we can ignore it. 12 steel techs available to you. Ooh, very nice. You're going this way, I guess. And then you should be able to occupy Quixotla. With potentially an auto-resolve. No auto-resolve, eh? Oh, right, we also got to get that Revenant host into another army. Alright, start building siege equipment. Hey, who knows, maybe they'll sally out, which would be really quite nice. Also, you leveled up again. I guess we might as well max out Honor or Death. Oh, we also really need the Unliving Host for, well, all of our units. This is post-battle loot. Yeah, screw it, just do Ordo Draconis. And just for the post-battle loot. And I guess the slight reduction in the Scarlet Knights, even though we're not really making use of that right now. We'll pick the tech in a bit. Let's see about the rest of you. So, yeah, there's Plague here. And I really would prefer not to pick it up. I guess these guys are suffering attrition to their own plague anyway, so... Maybe we just sit here. It's a bit of an annoyance to do so, but I don't see any other way. It's alright, I guess we'll take the time to consolidate a little bit. You need to find some enemies to assassinate, and there's no enemies. You can block the army here, but that doesn't do much for us. I mean, I guess it'll help you level up a bit. Can you do anything to Mordheim? Yeah, damage the walls. It's free XP, I guess. Might as well make use of it. And really... She leveled up, but she failed. But assassinate is the big thing that we want there. Anyway, since you two are stuck, just sit there. Gustav, you're stuck as well in case Wurzag comes this way, because obviously his army is not one we can take with just this guy. A recruiter, you are ferrying these guys to a new army. And Vamps, you're still going north. Oh, I guess this will at least allow the Vamps to catch up to these armies, which is great. Can't say no to that. What about... Okay, no White King capacity. We do have no Vampire or Banshee capacity either, I believe. Yeah. We'll get to it, though. Frankly, we probably want one with Immortal Tenacity in pretty much every army, as it'll be a nice... it'll be a nice bit of help for our leadership, because we really... And Vampires do provide additional leadership, but yeah, we really need it at this point. Red Duke, you can reach Castle Bastan, though unfortunately you would be in range of Grommy. I wanted those crypt horrors. We could build me.
Darkness comes.
Oh, we're kind of surrounded. It's kind of an issue right now, because if we move, then Altharion the Grim could attack us, and he doesn't want to peace out. In fact, I just want to take a look at who wants to peace out right now. Just Clan Moors, but they're in trouble, and in desperation, they popped off that Scaen plague. I don't think anybody else wants anything useful right now, and even Imric no longer wants to trade. Alright.
This night, you dare.
We could declare war on these guys, but I'm not sure that we want to. You know what? Maybe go into raiding stance. Start moving here. We'll see if Grommy does anything. We'll give him the turn. And, we could also ignore him for now and head towards the dwarfs here. If they take Gisoro, we can immediately destroy their army here, because, they killed off their main stack. Oh no, and we have 3 turns of Confederation left. We could have Confederated Kemmler right here, right now, if it wasn't for Gorst. But to be fair, Gorst was also close to defeat. We gotta save Kemmler, so we're going this way. And this is what we're doing. And we'll probably try to raise some units on the way. Probably. They are available, after all. Alright, anybody else need to move this turn? Not this recruiter, you're stuck until you potentially need to build another army, though I did want to build a potentially little... let's level up Leonas to get some better defenses. We potentially want another Master Necro here. Healing cap is okay, but I want another zombie army, so I guess we'll wait. Yeah, we'll wait. Alright, fine. Let's move the assassins and the heroes and whatnot. It still has to be done. It's a little bit annoying, but, well, it's part of the way the game works. You need that tech, and you gotta work for it. Another failure. Come on, inevitable death not being so inevitable. Another point in action success chance. Still relatively low. Farming those blood kisses a little bit difficult, but hopefully with the additional units that we have on field, it'll be a little bit easier. Go to Bitterstone Mine, scout ruins, it's free XP. Should level you up. There we go. Actually, nearly to level 3 as well. Alright. Hopefully there's a lot of heroes in the Empire which we can all go around assassinating. Alright, what else do we have available to us? All of the heroes. So you keep stealing tech. I'm gonna hope that I can remember where everybody is. Did I move these already? Okay, then move you. Alright, and you have moved. Alright, where are the others? No, not assault units. I can't believe none of these armies have any heroes. Usually I get annoyed at agent spam, and the one time where you actually want the enemy to have agents all over the place, they don't have any. Ooh. A low chance to get wounded at least, give it a try. Yeah. Well, that was bound to be the case because we... A low chance to be wounded, don't get wounded? Okay, they both failed, unfortunately. I guess I shouldn't have damaged those walls after all. Oh well, these guys will need to separate from each other. Otherwise they're gonna be a problem, well, for each other. You steal tech from these guys? Also failure? Oh, come on, agents. And Brain Collector. Okay, you. Save the day for us. There you go, Brain Collector. Found some good brains. Surprisingly in the orcs. Alright, and you got Deceitful as well. Alright, that looks good to me. You two. Still on the approach to that big old fight. Once again, it looks like it'll take at least a couple of turns to get there. You can lead. Actually, you have more mana anyway, don't you? Yeah, so I guess you'll reinforce, which means you can march stance. May as well. Alright, that looks good. Savid von Drakengorsti. Alright, so... There's 2 ways we could do this. Either ignore the Dragon Isles. I mean, if we take Chiang and transfer it and vassalize these guys, that would probably be the best thing we could do. Actually, at minus 68, it's looking less and less likely, but we should probably still give it a try. So... the attrition. You're gonna have to go into a ritual, and while you're at it, raise a couple of more Graveguard. We need them. At least for now. And then move together. And Gorsti, you can do the same thing. A ritual. And together you will hit Knobbly Gorge, and maybe win, maybe lose. This is going to be a much more elite army than the other one was. Should be a fun time, though. Alright. Who knows, maybe they'll even attack us in the field if they think we're weak enough, which is very distinctly possible. Alright, you move up here. A recruiter. You guys are still ferrying stuff, and I believe that's it. Other than buildings, obviously, and other than tech selection. So, we were going towards Spirit Shackles for the barrier hit points and the battle healing cap, as for now our ghosties are rather weak. We also do want that cannibalistic rituals for those ghouls. Frankly, there's a lot of stuff we want all over the place. An additional 2 hero recruit rank for Necros. That's nice as well for a single turn. Diplo with all factions, not so bad. You know what? Maybe we get the Diplo with all factions right now. It'll maybe help us potentially get Kemler if he remains weak after we're done there. Anyway, let's quickly build the buildings, but we don't really have a lot of money to do so anyway. Sudenberg, 4,000 gold. Blade Rock, now you're fine. Any more gibbets? Aha, Garrick Asgal. No gibbets, but a haunted gemstone mine for the cash. And I believe, aha, another gemstone mine. Get those gemstones flowing. And I believe you're good. Let's get you the Balefire Brazier when we can afford it, which is not now. Harrison Lord and Ascent skill points. Lord not moved. Looks like an end turn to me. Let's see what those Skaven do. Alright, we've had 3 battles in this episode. Let's see if we can't get one more immediately. We are rapidly running out of time, but if we do get one more, I'd be down. Silostra wants that military alliance. Not right now. Though once again, she's doing fairly well where she is. And it's possible that we will eventually do so. I just want to keep her... Well, I want to save it for now, because eventually, if we want to maybe vassalize, if we force her into a bunch of wars... It's still a distinct possibility. Telaqua destroyed at last. Alrighty, and Gorsti. Oh, corrupted by Nurgle, casualty punishment reduction. That's not great. That's actually really not great. I mean, what can you do? And, aha! Warzak did indeed move to the statues of the gods. Alright, that's what we wanted. There's that infiltrate noble houses. And we will fight, so. Yeah, just get Blasphemous Disciples. I want Necros to come up with max rank, or not max rank, but ranked up enough. Hey, we got another Witherer. Wait, where were we gonna... Just so I don't forget, because I forgot last time. We do want another Necro here. We'll need a lot of healing for the ghosties. Yeah, I guess we could do another Witherer here. Wait, is there any army that doesn't have a Necro currently? Oh, the Flying Army needs one, because it has no units on... Well, it won't have any units on the ground as soon as the doggos are gone. Yeah, alright, fine. We'll take the Witherer here. At rank 15. Though, funnily enough, he doesn't need to be on the corpse cart because he'll be running around on a horse anyway. Anyway, battle time, Manny versus Wurzag. All that physical resistance on these guys that we originally built the ghosties for will make it more difficult. And speaking of the ghosties, might be able to attack Telaqua and these guys here. We could in fact draw Spite in. Okay, we'll see about that, but Manny, let's do you. 1 point available. Not enough, I think, to be concerned about, so I think we'll just straight up attack rather than level. Go.
Wipe them out.
I want that to feature. No, Thanatal, just steel attack. Ha! He failed, but at least we got the steel attack. Looks like a good fight, Pyrrhic victory. Go.
I command thee to attend. Bring thy swords. Reap death. Dance a dance macabre. It is time. The dead march.
Alrighty, here we go, a 4th battle of this episode. This is gonna be a hell of a lot of editing, but, well, hopefully it's worth it, and I just can't say no to this fight. Been itching to get into combat with Wurzag's main stack for a while with the ludicrous amount of physical resistance that all those savage orcs have. 50% on the savage orc boar boys as well, and there are a heck of a lot of those guys there to be seen. Mannfred will start the day off with a quick little wind of death through the enemy ranks, dealing about 50% damage to a couple of the Savage Orc units, and his goal here is to annoy the enemy army into moving towards us. He's going to pop up that first Spirit Leech on Wurzag as well, and we'll continue spamming that throughout the battle as best he can. Going to try to get that zombie dragon breath off and into the enemy line as well to follow up that wind of death. and dish out a little bit of damage to archer and savage orc boys alike. Or savage orcs. It looks like Wurzag has had enough of that and will hit us back with a spell of his own, but it looks of it targeting one of the necromancers, but by the looks of it not dealing a crazy amount of damage. Our lines of Graveguard are still waiting here because the enemy simply outnumbers us, and we want to be careful about that. And we're just going to set up here and wait for them to come to us. Also, this is the first battle where we have 2 Barrow Guardians available to us now, which is quite nice. The looks like Varric the Blade has reached rank 15, which means we do have 2 units to sort of act as damage sponges, essentially. Anyway, out here over in this copse of trees, we have Varric the Blade leading all of our cavalry. They're hidden, they're waiting, and they will hit the enemy in a little bit of cav-on-cav action when we're ready. Manny is down to about 50% of his HP now, having taken a lot of hits from those Savage Orc Error Boys, which we got to be careful about since they are anti-large arrows, just like our own crossbows, and we've already seen how effective even a couple of those units can be. And Manny's, of course, a big old target. But hey, that's one of the reasons we're here, one of the reasons we're going after Wurzag in particular, because he'll offer us additional physical resistance should we acquire his defeat trait, to add to our ward save and all that. Alright, Manny, cover around, heal up a little bit, and allow the enemy to move forward, as it looks like they are annoyed enough to move towards us at last. Savage Orcs, or regular melee infantry Savage Orcs, will lead the charge, and will attempt to mob our piles of Graveguard. Let's see what they can do. All that physical resistance. What's our own physical resistance at? Well, 0 on the Barrow Guardians, but we got, let's see, Sternsmen have 10%, okay, so a little bit. They have physical resistance, but we have armor, who will be able to carry the day. And of course, over on the right flank, we've got the cavalry battle and getting ready to start. Manny is heading towards the enemy trolls there to dish out damage to them, simply because we don't want the cavalry fighting against the trolls, as it would take all of them a long time to deal any damage to them. Of course, Varric the Blade, including Varric's Reavers with their greatswords, would probably be able to deal with the enemy trolls, but, well, it's just faster for Manny to do it, let's face it, especially by popping Fate of Biuna on them and dishing out additional damage, and maybe even a Spirit Leech if needed. Alright, shouldn't have any trouble at dealing with those trolls there. And it looks like they will break, and we'll probably have to chase them down as well. Savage Orc Boar Boys, Biggins and regular alike, are facing off against our piles of Black Knights here. Our Black Knights are liable to take some damage, but at least for now, Manny is here to keep them nice and healed up. And the 2 units that got charged first did take sufficiently heavy damage that they're attempting to flee the battlefield. The rest of the battle is still ongoing, of course, so it'll take a while to deal with all of the Savage Orcs, but it looks like at least 1 or 2 of the enemy units are booking it on out of there. They do have to deal with the Graveguard led by our White Kings as well. And I do like keeping White King at least 1 on foot to lead or to command the infantry lines. It feels very appropriate, even if the White King, Kevin in this particular case, can't quite get to, well, 2 enemy single entities, but that's alright, Varric can deal with it. And I was going to do 3. We have our 3rd White King in this army now, Random Skeleton. After the Random Skeleton in the I don't remember if it was the first, well, probably not the first episode, the one that killed Volkmar early on. But we're probably going to put him into a different army in a little bit, simply because I think the Dark Benediction offered by a Vampire support unit will provide a little bit more value than a single additional White King. Even if that White King is able to summon those Barrow Guardians, which is another unit of Graveguard on the field, which is still quite nice. But as we've seen before, we need leadership, and Dark Benediction doesn't only increase damage, but also gives leadership to everybody around. Plus, it'll mean access to Lore of Shadows within this army as well, if it's a Shadow one, which is what we're planning on, which will mean various other nice spells. The Withering, potentially, Penumbral Pendulum, if we keep our disciplined ranks of Graveguard. And Pit of Shades, which is just one of the best spells. And certainly liable to be much more useful than Purple Son of Zeraeus, which Manny has, but anyway. These Spirit Leeches have taken Wurzak down to like 10% of his HP before Manny ever even gets to him, so Wurzak has been having a pretty bad day of all this. Surprisingly, Wurzak has no spell resistance, although by the looks of it, whatever physical resistance he had paled in comparison to the attacks from the zombie dragon. Manny is now, of course, surrounded by Savage Orc Boar Boys, as well as Arrow Boys and, I think, regular units, but I'm also sure that he'll be fine, at least until he reaches his healing cap. Bounce power is at about 90% in this battle now. In our favor, that's it, that's the one. Now, the enemy cavalry have by and large finally lost to the Black Knights, though several of them have suffered severe damage. This one's down to about half HP and this one's at about 40, and that's after several heals as well. So without the healing support, they would have had a pretty bad time against the enemy Boar Boys. All that resistance, and I think in vanilla, the units of Black Knights all have magical damage, unless I'm mistaken. Varric's Reavers still do, but the other ones don't, which would have helped against the physically resistant units. If we can pick up a Lichbone Pennant, we can give another Lichbone Pennant to another one of the Knight units, which will certainly help out. And oh no, okay, and not so great. Okay. My PC is not liking this at all. Too many effects going at once, maybe? I saw the Fate of Buna pop up and get all those effects on everybody going. So maybe that was the case. But anyway, I suppose it didn't matter much because, oh, maybe at the same time the Fate of Buna popped up, the entire enemy army shattered, and well, either way. I'll need an upgrade eventually, so it's not surprising that occasionally I get hiccups. Anyway, battle, very nice one at that, is Zavra's going to do a little bit of healing up of a few of our units to get the Black Knights and recover anybody that died, while we run down whatever enemy remains. Alrighty, a very nice fight if I do say so myself, though the Black Knights had the brunt of the difficulty of the battle, and by virtue of that got the most kills and the most damage as well. Looks like the Lancers are also doing a nice job, the Impalers winning the day for us. I guess the Revenant Host is also really helping them out in terms of actually, staying alive, insofar as, the unit surviving is what I mean. Anyway, it says 0 losses, but actually two of our Black Knights nearly died. One of them was crumbling away, but fortunately, once again, we just healed them up right after, and we're good to go once again. Also, Manny, 358 kills, 66,000 damage. That early starting of the battle, Wind of Death, worked out well for him, I would imagine. Lovely. Anyway, we will occupy the place and acquire the physical resistant trait that we... Ooh! He also gave us a little bit of charge bonus. Well, you know what? The Black Knights certainly earned it. Their charge is climbing ever higher. Beautiful. And the physical resistance was what we wanted in the first place, as it will be nice for Manny. Alright, with that, folks, we are most definitely out of time, and I am going to call the episode here. There's a little bit of admin to take care of between the episodes again, and I'll take care of it, between the episodes as best I can with the heroes, and maybe a few more raises and stuff like that, and when we get back into it, the war against the rats to some degree continues, though once again, we're probably better off waiting out the plagues, or else this is just going to keep happening. It's going to run its course soon, and ooh, I just want to see what's here. Please don't be verms. And no, it's Moors, and in fact we cannot resolve this. And occupied. Alright, lovely. Anyway, we'll continue this and hopefully get a nice big battle with ooh, Kugath is approaching as well. With Helman Gorst against Kagan, a Blood Drencher. Probably start the next episode with this major fight, and then, right after, try to go after Kugath as well. Since we're also 2 turns away from Confed, there's a decent likelihood that we will be able to confederate the Barrow Legion. Or at the very least, we'll see. And next time as well. So stay tuned for more vampire action in the bonus episode later today. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes if you're into that sort of thing. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.